All right, hey everyone. Sorry we been having some technical difficulties again, but we are getting it straight. So we'll give it a few minutes for everyone to get on. Um, let's see. It's like people are slowly joining in.
There we go.
All right. Let's see. Y'all can start. I'm here. Well, good evening, Alan. So, give it just a few more minutes. We still have some people hopping on. All right, Ralph. I guess we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. Let me
Yeah.
talk about the website.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We've been anybody that's been trying to pay for stuff, we just been taking it over the phone and paying through the apps, but we now have a website that's up and running. Uh, and everything that we have to offer as far as the membership, the event registration, the testing,
Snake avoidance.
snake avoidance. It's all on the website, so you can just go in there and select what you got to pay for, and that'll make it a lot easier. A lot easier on us, but a little easier on y'all too, to where you can see what you can pay for. Plus, we're here probably in the next 2 weeks. We'll have some products that we're having made: shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, cups, some other stuff that we'll have that you'll be able to look at.
So I will show you guys how to navigate the website real quick. Should be able to see here. This is our home screen. If you go down here, you can click join today. And this will take care of your annual dues. So you go there and it's $25. You can do add to cart. And you can see right there, $25. Go to checkout. And it'll ask for your information. And you can pay that way. So that is for the membership. So we will go up here if you want to pay for the event or snake avoidance. You go there, book your snake avoidance. He changed some set of the web. We had some technical difficulties, and the host company had to fix it. So that's why the pictures look a little off. But if you want to say book and pay for the Stockton event, you just go there, click book, same thing, fill out your name, information, all that, and you can pay that way.
Is the Alabama set up also? Because I've already
Yes,
got
the
people.
Alabama is set up. Okay, testing. You go down here, you can sign up for all your testing. So if you look here, it says 5 minutes. Obviously, that's not 5 minutes. So you pick your date. So if you're going to Stockton event and you want to test on the, say, Sunday, you click there. It'll ask you what time. Don't pay attention to the times. You can put anything. I will get this updated for some better times. All that matters is the date. Stacy will reach out to you once it's booked and paid, and she'll give you the actual time. This is just for you to get on there and book your date, and and like I said, she will get back to you. And then, like Ralph said, we will have some products where you go here, go to shop. Right now, the only product in there is the membership dues, but as we update it, as soon as he gets me the information, I will get all the products on there, and we will have it all set up. Then I'm just canceling out, which I can do this later. We'll get back to the screen. So, why did our chat log out? Anyways, let's see. You've got to be kidding me. There we go. Cups, what size? Like baseball. Y'all track some mean deer. All right.
There's the cup right there. I believe these are 20-ounce
Yes.
cups with the lid on them. So that'll be the cups.
And we have decals. We're going to have all kinds of stuff on there here soon. And if you did, like I said, we were having technical difficulties with the website. So there were some people that tried to, they booked their service, but it did not allow them to pay. So we got that corrected about 30 minutes ago. So now you can go on there and correct it. It did not charge their accounts, so we were good there. And that's pretty much it as far as the website.
Getting back to the snake avoidance, we're going to have the snake guy's going to be there 2 days, and it's going to be 10 slots per day. So if a couple of people have already called wanting to get a slot, and it was 150, right?
Yes,
it's 150 per dog.
He reduced that for us this event,
and so we'll have 10 slots per day. So and that's all he can do. So if you want a slot there, go on there and order it on the website.
So I've asked a few people, Randy Vick, Kyle Parks, Judy Cotrette. I asked them how they liked the snake avoidance, and they said they loved it. 2 of them said it was the best they'd seen.
And we've had some reviews come back where they think it helped them this year, where their dogs avoided some snakes.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah. In fact, we were testing Judy's dogs yesterday, and one of her dogs did not, when she got it out, it kept wanting to get back into the truck. And it was because a snake had been right there where we were standing, and it was smelling that snake. So that was pretty good to see. Speaking of that, got some pictures to share with y'all. There's Judy and one of her dogs. She tested on the started and season off lead with both of these dogs. And I tell you, these dogs were amazing. They're really good. Judy is a phenomenal handler. And I asked her if she would mind speaking at the Stockton event. And she said she's not the best speaker, but she will do it. And I know she'll do fine. Her hunter interview was on point. Probably one of the best I've seen. She did fantastic. Just overall handling skills was great. She appreciated some feedback that John and I had gave her. She's been tracking a long time, and sometimes it's good to have another set of eyes. So that's one advantage to the testing. Just having another set of eyes, we might catch something that, or someone may see something I'm doing. And for instance, I put a YouTube video up there of some training, and I spotted right away when I was editing the video to get it on there, where John was kind of led the dog a little bit more than he realized. But it was also a young dog 1 week into training. It needed to be led a little bit. But you don't always see that until you see it on video or you have someone behind you. Um, so that's a good reason to work with others and, you know, work on these mock tracks with friends and do the testing. And I think y'all experienced that last weekend. Didn't you have a
Yep.
judge's workshop?
Well, it turned into a judge's workshop. It started out just a couple people wanting to run some track, so we went out to my farm here in Callahan, and a couple more people heard about it, and they wanted to come. So in a matter of a day, it turned into 5 people out there. We're going to have another workshop this Saturday. If anybody around Northeast Florida or anywhere, y'all welcome to come, no matter where you're from. Just get with me.
They don't have to be a judge to attend.
No.
You don't even
No.
even if you don't want to be a judge, you can still attend.
Yep. And that part of people watching you and critiquing, we found out how extremely what an advantage it was to have some others there, especially when it comes to the technical stuff, you know, the Garmins and the dog tracks. We were running tests and stuff to see what worked the best. And man, we worked out some stuff that I'm glad we did that versus catching them on an actual test, because we figured out some stuff. I mean, we didn't think we'd be out there a few hours. Shoot, we stayed after dark. It was just, we just kept going and having fun and talking about stuff. So we're going to start at 10 o'clock. Get with me. Like I said, if you want to come, and I'll get you an address or I'll post it here before the end of the week, and about coming over to be a part of the workshop. The We'll be laying lines, just kind of running through what the theme this week was as far as what do you do postseason. Well, like I made a joke with my wife. Tracking season's over, but testing season's starting, and I said you can't keep that in the same boat. That's different. So we're starting a new season of testing now. So all this type stuff, and man, we've been having a ball with it. Everybody's called me all week. We've been talking back and forth, figuring out the problems that we ran into at the workshop, and just a bunch of minds that want to make things better. We're all communicating, so it was pretty cool. Everybody's been turning in lines that they've ran, just because that's part of the criteria that you got to do to be a judge. And so we're working towards this testing in the off season. I mean, it's good for you. Everybody always asks, what about the dog? You know, do we need to do something? You know, is it a requirement? No, I don't think it's a requirement, but
Well,
man, it's a
not
lot of fun.
some places it's not. Some
Yeah.
it is.
And it just, I've gone seasons when I didn't mock track a single dog, but now that we've started the testing stuff, it's just fun. We're looking forward to it. Even the trackers, you wouldn't believe how much you gain slowing down, not being out there on an actual track and just working things out. It really, I don't know, it's just fun. So it passes the time in the off season, but you're working on things. And it I encourage it a lot. Even if you didn't actually go to, we encourage you to go to events, because I can tell you nothing is like being in an event. You think you've ran a ton of tracks with your dogs in the season. Come to an event, you'll find out how nervous a tracker can be. Your dogs usually do fine. You will be a nervous wreck, and so it's a little bit of practice helps and gets you through that. But it's just fun. We've started getting some new people that have never tested, and they've just fell in love with it. And it's just working your dogs for the months that before the season starts again. So
Yeah. So with that being said, what to do in the off season. Ralph mentioned testing, and testing is a good thing. I used to be against it. I used to think all the only test I need is putting deer on the tailgate. Well, that's true to an extent. But what these mock tracks and what this testing does is it keeps your dog tuned up. And I've also said many years ago, oh, my dog won't take a mock tracks. Won't take a mock track. Well, yes, it will. You just have to. So someone called me today asking for advice on mock tracks, but their dog wouldn't take one. Well, just because the season before or first season you were training, you had that dog up to 24 hours old, 30 hours old. Then you run all deer season, you're putting deer on the tailgates. When you go back in the off season to run a mock track, don't think you can necessarily start off at 24, 30 hours old. Sometimes you gotta knock it back to 2 hour short ones. Let them have some fun, keep it fun, easy, work your way up and vary back and forth. Um, but the biggest thing is knowing what to work on. And how do you know what to work on? You keep stats. And by stats, I'm not saying uh, the number of deer tailgated. That's not important for off season training. Um, Even your percentage rate isn't necessarily an indicator of how good the dog was. And there's a lot of I don't want to say misinformation, but there's a lot of ways of calculating these stats that won't show what you need to work on. For instance, if Ralph and we track together all season long and we claim the same recoveries because we're together, well, that may not show what that dog needs worked on. And also, you may see that dog trailing and it's behind, but you're thinking it's trailing. Well, it might be trailing other dogs. So it's important to get some of those solo recoveries with these dogs and track those stats and know what you need to work on. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with keeping team stats. People do it all the time. But if you really want to advance your dog and know what to work on, you have to keep individual stats for each dog. You agree?
yeah. Plus, I mean, even during the year, I keep an extensive book, every track of what happened, what my dogs did, and I go with a lot of people. So, but I'm keeping track of them so that I can see even like if one misses one and the other takes it, it bothers me. I got to figure out why it is. Well, keeping those kind of stats when you have time to go back over them, you can learn, and if you see a pattern that's happening, well, sometimes some of those patterns can be worked out in mock tracks, simulate what happened. And that's where I was saying a while ago, you don't always have to go to an event because those are going to be pretty standardized. And you work on some stuff like, for instance, if your dog has trouble crossing a creek or something like that, or crossing a hard road or doing something that you just saw that I had trouble when this happened. Well, simulate that crap. Call, man, that's fun to do that kind of stuff. And it, I don't know, it just, you can do some things to really help in the off season on some things that happened last season that you didn't like.
Yep.
Um, and that's what, if your goal is to get better, you know, um,
Well,
to me,
I'll
that's
say this. I've noticed a trend in the last few years of teams starting out having deer found behind them, and then they're killing it later on in the season. Well, if you follow the trends and you really watch, those are the people that are not working in the off season. And I've got a dog that I don't necessarily have to work much in the off season, and I can rely on her. But most people aren't putting in the number of tracks that we do.
mm,
You know, it makes a difference. There's a reason that you train that way to get the dog started. You need to continue that training. It may not be at the level of, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once every 2 weeks, but do something. Um, you know, I meant to call him and ask him to hop on the speakerphone where we could talk to him. But yesterday I spoke with Coda Stewart. I don't know if he's on here or not. But him and some friends got together and they were practicing the test lines because they're testing at actually here in a couple of weeks, and then they're testing again at the event in Stockton. Well, he told me that whenever he was running those test lines, well, he was watching his friends run them, and then he ran them, and they didn't realize that they picked up on some cues that the dogs were giving, picked up on some stuff that they were missing. So there's a lot more that goes into this. And if you don't have someone, let's say you're in an area, you don't have someone that tracks that can lay a blind track for you and give you feedback or, whatever, video it. You're going to see stuff in that video that you don't realize is happening when you're out there in the field.
And a lot of times, your dog's out in the woods when you're on a deer, you might run a ton of tracks, but 90% of the time you're not seeing your dog. Well, this mock track and testing and just practicing, that's, to me, you can really gain a lot of info on reading your dog. And that's one of my favorite things is reading dogs. So that is key to me because like I've said before, you want to know every reason that dog's doing what it's doing because it's telling you something every time. And so that's you got a long time in between now and when season starts again. It don't hurt. You can dang sure pick up on some things by mock tracks and stuff like that. I mean, just the other day, we weren't really there to watch or do dogs, but we had them there just so the judges could watch. And all of a sudden, we picked up on a couple of things, and it was pretty darn cool because the pressure wasn't on. You were just watching and paying attention a little more because there wasn't nothing else to do but pay attention. And so I encourage everybody to try to do some of that stuff in the off season.
I don't know why our chat
Yeah.
is not working properly. See what's going on here because I'm seeing a bunch of stuff, bunch of comments that are not showing up on our chat system here. So I apologize about that. I'm going to look to these comments now and see what's going on. So let's go back. What's happening, fellas? I'm sitting here sniffing glue and playing with latex. I don't know if I want to touch that one. All right, watching from Tennessee. Travis Sykes says Daniel Tyre and Kayla Tyre did a great job running their lines. I enjoyed it. Randy Vick in audience. Cassie, I think ABTA's test lines have a lot of scenarios that people may not consider when laying mock tracks, like the scent gap and finish test or the scent challenges in seasoned and finished. Absolutely. And we tried to think of a lot of scenarios. A lot of effort went into this to doing these lines. And I don't know why this is messed up on us, but yep, Coda says he's here. I wish I could, Coda, if I may reach out to you here in a minute so you can share what I was telling everyone. Carrie Patterson says, yep, we had a track the other day. There was another deer shot there the afternoon before. My dogs took that line first, got them back to hit site, and they worked through it and hit hit the right line. Yep, happens all the time. Coda, when on a real track, 99% of hunters don't know dog work. Having a set of extra eyes that understand dog work while you are working a mock line, it's super beneficial. We both learn things about our dogs. Billy Hodgson said it worked on website scheduling, snake avoidance, and Stockton all signed up. Can't wait to. Thank you, Billy. And like I said, I'm not sure why our comments section is not working. Technology, gotta love it. See if we can get it back. Anyways, so we'll see if yeah, we have. Not sure what's going on there. Anyways, I'll just keep on with the phone, and I'm gonna have to go to different ones. Are all your mock tracks with shoes? No, not always. Um, I like mixing it up. I do not do drags. Shoes are fine. I like tracking sticks. It lays a very natural line. As far as how the deer walks and brushes up against the vegetation. So don't think you have to have shoes to do this.
We just use the shoes so that there's a consistency to the testing.
Correct. So let me hop on because I've got this streaming in multiple places, so I want to make sure I don't miss any questions or comments or see, we got some 6 here. I like the camera better this time. So I wouldn't say the camera is better, Jason. We have some external lighting that I brought. In fact, I wish the other camera would have been working because I did a lot of work to it. It was working this morning, but we're using a new platform that just has better features and more options. And for some reason, when I got here, it doesn't like Ralph and didn't want to work. And Casty said, okay, let's see. Kyle Carlson said, would love to go to Callahan and see, but don't have a dog yet. Really, it doesn't matter. Come.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about that earlier. I mean, you don't have to have a dog. We encourage everyone to come see what's going on. And, you'll learn a lot.
And bring that little blue tick. That being around people and being around other dogs is crucial.
Yep.
I mean, obviously scent training is what that's the end goal, but there is a lot of stuff that needs to be trained on a dog that just being socialized is crucial. And in my world, that's a must. I won't have one that's not socialized just because we're around kids and around a lot of older people at these veteran hunts and stuff like that. So me and Jason, we really strive to have some dogs that love to be around people. So never shy away from bringing the dog around us, and you'll learn stuff, especially as new as it is to y'all, that you'll enjoy it.
So Darren Miner said, watching your package was mailed today. Want to give a shout out to Darren. Darren, if you do want tracking shoes, message Darren. He has the shoes that we use every day in training. Love those shoes. They're light, they're comfortable, they're not cumbersome to walk in. He will take care of you. Jason Bell, I think there's a good video somewhere that shows an easy way to put hose on a pipe or broomstick. Yes, I can share that link. The video actually shows it with PVC. If you make it out of metal, it is much better. So Um, you know, I'm just going to say this. I don't know if Judy's watching or not, but Judy, whenever she called me about the testing, she was worried about her younger dog a little bit. She said, "I just don't know if he's going to pass." And even the morning of the test, she's like, "Well, I'm just not sure how he's going to do." That dog was phenomenal. I mean, that dog didn't miss. Um, and we were talking, and what ends up happening when you have multiple dogs, you're going to want to rely on that older, more proven dog, and it's a hindrance to your younger dog. So you can ask anyone that I talk to or I kind of mentor, and I'll tell them if you've got multiple dogs and you have what appears to be a good track for a young dog, put that young dog on first.
Yep.
In fact, I will put the young dog on every track first. And if they're not successful, then I go back and I pull out the proven dog. The only time I won't do that is if I have tracks just stacked up and I gotta move. Even then, I'd like to refer a track to get that younger dog the experience, or you'll never have a good dog. So there's a saying that says if you have multiple tracking dogs, you'll never have a great one. And the reason why is because people won't work those dogs, and then when the time comes, uh, and you need it, it's not up to par, and that goes back to this off season, postseason training. But in Judy's case, she was underestimating that dog. That's a fine dog. Um, Cassidy says one of the reasons judges can decide to not test a dog is due to dog being aggressive. Socialization is always key, no matter what you do. That's absolutely correct. And it's not only socialization with people; it's environmental socialization also. A lot of people doesn't think about that. Get them in the woods, take them for walks, get them all the exposure you can.
And even new dogs that maybe you go with somebody for the first time and your dog's never been around another dog when they come up on the deer, that is probably the best time to be ready to make sure that you correct that dog when it starts being aggressive. Because that's probably when it's going to happen the most, is when they all first get on that first deer together. And I mean, I just had that happen the last weekend of the season with my Catahoula. She or he got aggressive one time, and we stopped it. And the next one, he didn't. He was fine. So it didn't take much, but we definitely watch for that. And if so, just you just can't beat the socialization. It never ends. Uh, so
Yeah, and like I said, it's not just for people. It's not just other dogs. It's environmental conditions. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll see dogs back up from stumps. Piece of trash in the woods, it'll booger up a young dog, and they'll back up. That's just socialization.
decoys.
Yeah, yeah, decoy deer. So we have a question here from Michael Lockhart. Is baying a live deer and more aggression something you teach, or is it something you wait for with age and maturity in the dog? And have you seen a dog not ever turn aggressive? Um, it's more breed specific than anything. It's bred into the dog. If you want a dog that bays or has more aggression, you want to get the right breed. And I'm not saying that there's not the exception within breeds, but for the most part, it's natural abilities bred into the dog.
Yes, he talking about aggression on the deer, or aggression in general, to where he's got to worry about it in other
It
areas.
sounds like he's talking about aggression towards the deer. The way he's saying, is it something that you teach? And like I said, it's bred into the dogs. if you want a solid bay dog, get a breed that's known for it. Get a Catahoula, a blackmouth cur, a Lacey. Yeah, he said to the deer.
Yeah.
And like I said, there may be exceptions within breeds. I've had bloodhounds that would run the other way from a live deer, and there's bloodhounds that'll get up on one. Carrie Patterson said her black and tan is gritty, but she's got mountain lion dogs back in her blood. And black and tans they can get pretty gritty, but for the most part, it's just bred into the dog and the breed. Let me hop over to this other one where we got some more comments over here. So I'm hopping back and forth to not miss any because our new platform is not working properly. Jacob Burnham had that happen in the season. A tracker dog had not been around many other dogs and jumped on my dog. When we got there, the dogs were fine until we got there. And that's something that happens. They may be fine, and then they want to take possession whenever you get there. Jason Johnson says, "Hey guys, glad to see you. Thank you, Jason. He has been a longtime supporter of all trackers." And then we'll hop back over. So Perry said my lab has gotten real gritty this year. Lab's got it in them for sure. Walker Knight said my bloodhound would never. And like I said, there are the exceptions within breeds, but for the most part, it's what's bred into them.
Well, we also want to talk about, since we're talking about the testing and we're coming into our season of running these events, kind of want to talk about just for a few minutes on what it takes to become a judge. If anybody's interested, we'll have it up on the ABTA site under the files. It'll have a judge application. If anybody's interested, go fill that out, and Carrie Patterson will get with you and start the process with you. And it's not that stringent. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of studying to make sure you know all the characteristics of the lines that are required. But and then once you do that, you can judge privately, and you can judge so
I don't know what, it looks like it froze on us. Maybe it's just that one. Yeah, it's froze. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Whew.
So
did it freeze on us?
Can't tell. Can you tell if it's
No, it's working, I guess. Really weird. Let's see. Kyle says, "Here's one. I have 2-year-old male that is good tracking dog by himself or with my female. I have a hard time getting him to track behind my older male. Any tips?" That can be tough, and it can be tough to break. Kyle, give me a call on that. Okay, not frozen. Give me a call on that. I have to ask some more questions, but I will be glad to help if I can. I'm not sure why it did that. Let's see. Hopping back and forth. Can you go over some of the things that are being judged during the testing of a tracking dog? So,
start off with the started?
Yeah. So let's go right here. I will put this screen up where you guys can see it. We will go to testing. And we'll start here. Started level certification. Our started level certification ensures the dog and handler have a basic foundation for wounded game recovery. The season level certification shows the dog and handler are sufficient enough to handle the majority of situations, from wait times to property lines. The dog demonstrates the ability to handle common lay times, distance, and scent challenges. And the finished level shows the dog and handler are prepared for the toughest situations. The dog demonstrates the ability to handle lengthy lay times, longer distances, terrain challenges, other animal distractions, and more difficult scent challenges. So if we go down here, here's our testing documents you can find. But I want to skip past that. I mean, you can see pass and fail. The dog is expected to positively follow the track. Once the handler identifies the hide, it is considered a recovery. A little different from some other testing platforms, but we feel like if you've seen the deer or if you've seen the hide, that deer would have been recovered. So we try to keep it realistic.
Let's back up in that in these documents, going back to the aggression.
Yeah, I was coming across that.
Go ahead.
So positively follow the track means the dog will engage in all components of the test, such as turns, obstacles, challenges. And the majority of the length of line, simply finding or indicating the deer part of the end trail is not sufficient to pass. With that said, when you read through the documents, there is allowance for the dog to be off on an on-lead test up to 40 yards before you're called back. An on-lead test, an off-lead test is 75 yards. For the off-lead test, the handler must be able to communicate to the judge when the dog is on track, off track, in search mode, and when the game has been located. The dog must demonstrate the ability to follow commands from the handler given through the use of a handheld device. So, and like Ralph was saying, there's a couple of reasons why a test could not be administered, and one is if the dog is aggressive and the judge feels that it is a safety risk. The other is if you do not allow us to put a tracking collar on the dog. We will not shock or tone your dog. It is simply to record the line. So the start level test, if you go on here, you can see it's a minimum of 400 yards, maximum 500 in total length to include one wound bed. You do not have to identify the wound bed. Like I said, there are built-in allowances for scent drift and other things.
But that's only on the started test as far as not identifying the wound bed.
Well, to a degree.
Okay.
We'll get that one, and I'll explain. But he's correct. It's a minimum 2 hours, maximum 6 hours, 2 90-degree turns. The 90-degree turns are important. You want a exact 90s because the dogs will overshoot. So you're asking what we're looking for. So on the dog stuff, that's what we're looking for. Then there's the handler side, the hunter interview. Like I said yesterday, Judy nailed that hunter interview, probably the best I've seen yet. I can't give her enough props. She did great. Property line marker, you have to be able to identify the property line and know what to do when you get there. So let's go to the season. We're going to talk about what Ralph was getting into. 800 yards to 1,000 yards, 2 wound beds. This test must lay no less than 8 hours old and maximum 12 hours. So here we have some more scent challenges. You can read through this, but one thing Ralph was talking about, the handler challenges, hit site analysis with feedback to shot placement and proper wait times, 2 wound beds, which at least one must be investigated by the handler to discuss. That does not mean that your dog has to walk over the wound bed. But it does mean that the handler will have to be brought to it and investigate it. And that's what Ralph was talking about. So like on the first one, you don't have to do anything. Now, yesterday we did put identifiers in the wound bed, even on the started test, and Judy looked at them, and she investigated and she knew exactly what it was. And the hit site on her second test. Is it the second one? No, it was the first one. John put a piece of tendon in there, and she said, "Oh boy, we're gonna have a live one here." Um, so if you just go through these documents, we could spend all the time in the world reading them. But you can go on the website and go under testing, and it has the documents there. So hopefully that answered some questions for you. And a lot of it too, I don't want to say you're being judged, but these judges are going to watch your dog. They're going to watch you. Um, they're going to see some things. They're going to give some feedback at the end, some tips and advice. So that's probably the best part of it.
Yep.
We become complacent. Even as experienced as some of us are, we become complacent. We overlook things.
Plus, during the testing procedures, even if you passed, if some things went wrong, we're in the education. We did all this with the American Blood Tracking Association, not to just pass or fail you. We want to educate and help everybody become better trackers. So during these tests, we're watching, we're doing things, and we'll bring up some things that could help you, give you kudos when you're doing stuff great, like he's done with Judy. So it ain't just you walking away and not knowing what went wrong. That ain't going to happen. So it's hopefully, even if something happens and you fail, you'll enjoy the situation and learn from it and be ready to do it again the next time. So
Yeah, and so Perry Lawrence, he had a comment. He said, "I'm taking the first off lead test just so you can tell me what I can do to improve. I've always been on lead and started off this year." We can definitely do that, Perry. So Ricky Scott said, "Explain what you are expecting in the hunter interview for anyone that is watching that is newer to tracking." Um, well, some important questions to ask is, where do you think you hit the deer? And almost every hunter is right behind the shoulder most of the time. But anyways, where you hit the deer, how far away were you? What did you shoot it with? Was it a bow, rifle, muzzleloader? The angle? Um, how did the deer react? What direction did it go? What direction was it facing? I mean,
did you go in the woods looking? How far did you look? Did you grid search?
Have you had another dog on it?
Yeah, just tons of.
And honestly, we're not looking for right or wrong answers in that. We just want you to put forth an effort, and that's part of that educational thing at the end. We're going to go over some advice. Maybe you missed something. So that one is not so much a pass or fail as it is an opportunity for us to see where you're at and educate. We designed this testing platform mainly for the handler side. It's a progressive system, so it's progression designed so that we can take you from this level and get you to this level. And obviously it's in 3 steps, but there's education all along the way. So hopefully that answered your question. And same thing with the hit site analysis. Or hit site analysis. We just want you to put forth an effort. We understand that some of you guys are new, but but do some research, get involved, come to some of these. We're calling them judges workshops, but it's we're out there laying lines, we're working dogs, we're talking, we're working through situations. You're going to learn a lot. And
If you've never run a mock track, we'll use your dog to run the mock tracks we put down just because we want to see a dog run it and the judge look at it. We'll let new dogs run it. It's okay.
absolutely.
Because actually, judges need to see if your dog does do something wrong. We need them to see that. So there's never a bad, just like in real life, there's never a bad track. So you can run these mock tracks and they're all learning. I mean, every dog's made mistakes on them. So it don't matter how young they are, they got to start somewhere. And we're willing to help and let you do that because uh, matter of fact, that's more fun than putting a seasoned dog on something that never messes up. That's too easy. We
That's
need
right.
the judges to figure out when things go wrong. So we don't hesitate. Come on and bring you new dogs. We'll let you try it.
Well, Carrie said that she'll let you run her poodle. I've trained some poodles. They do great. Um, like you said, it's just a lot of fun getting together, and shoot, I enjoy the off season probably more than I do during season these days. It's the camaraderie, the just watching the dogs work. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
my ambition changed about a month before the season. We started talking about the after season stuff,
yep.
and so it's fun.
And speaking of that, we are swamped.
Oh yeah,
Golly, we're swamped and more
my
events.
wife might be listening.
So other than Ralph, there's been being more and more events planned. We just today we had two more states looking at booking events, and we're pretty excited. We're about to run out of time.
Yep,
I mean, we got a
because
busy
nobody
off
wants to do it
season.
in the heat of the summer, so that
Well,
time slot it gets shorter.
yeah, we're going to have some in the summer, but it's going to be further north if everything works out. And um, anyone else around East Tennessee? Kenny Frost is on here. I seen him pop on earlier. Stacy is working. That's why you don't see Stacy commenting. I know it's probably killing her not to jump in and offer some advice. However, we have Carrie Patterson on, and Carrie Patterson just took on a huge role with our organization, and it's going to be a big stress relief for us.
Oh yeah,
And we can't thank Carrie enough. Carrie has taken on the role of judge coordinator. Um, so she is overseeing the development of these judges, and we have some great judges that have been coming up. Let's see. Mitchell Smith. Analyzing the hit site is a big challenge for me due to my color blindness. It's the reason I got into tracking to begin with. Well, Mitchell, we have something, and I'm sure you can make some up. We can get them on the store. We have some cards, and I think it would be great for someone like yourself. You can take these cards, and even though you're colorblind, you can show them to the hunter and say, "Hey, what color does that match?" Same thing with the shades of color on the hair.
that hair card is unbelievable.
Yes, yes. And same thing with the blood. Like I said,
Yeah,
there's a lot of trackers that are colorblind. If you have something like that you can show the hunter, or like Randy Vick said, he likes giving it to the kids and letting the kids, if there's kids there, let them, um, match it up. So you need to get one of those, Mitchell, for sure. Carrie said here to help whenever, or whoever. I'm sorry, whoever. And she's definitely been a big help and a great judge.
oh yeah.
So I'm gonna hop over see if we have anything on any more comments on the other one. I hate that this thing's not. Let's see. Can you go over some of the things that are? Oh, we already did that. Meant to shoot you a text, didn't get a picture, but Scout did find another on Saturday. Yeah, Cameron's got a pretty good GSP that we worked with. Will there be any events south of Gainesville, Ocala, or further south?
Hmm. Um,
It's going to be tough this year. Um,
yeah.
maybe we can plan some. We are planning on doing
If we have enough tests to run, we'll just have a testing event. It
right.
don't have to be a seminar. We can go down and test.
And and keep that in mind anywhere.
Yep,
We'll go anywhere and do a testing
yep.
weekend. Um, Cassidy going to be knocking my season level judges certification over the next couple of weeks. We are excited. Cassidy has been killing it. Cassidy comes from a long family of trackers. I couldn't resist that one. Let's see. Now we're gonna go over to the other one and see if we're missing anything there. And I wish this was working better. I don't know. Somehow it logged me out and it's missing all the comments. There are glasses available for color blindness now. I wonder how those work.
Um,
Still not working. Sucks. Oh well, we can. So we have the Stockton event coming up. We're planning on starting the seminar portion at 10 a.m. Right?
correct.
Um, and we have. I know you're going to be speaking. Lyle Avis, Judy has said she would.
We'll have the Georgia DNR back again. That was a big
That's right.
hit back at our last seminar. And also, I forgot his name. Graham,
Oh yeah,
the vet,
yeah.
is going to be back again. He's going to speak. That was another hit. That was probably two of my favorite uh, sessions.
Yeah, and then feel free to come out. We're going to be there Friday night. We're going to be testing Friday morning, so obviously we're going to be there Friday night. We're going to have a fish fry.
Feel
Billy,
free to show up, even if you're not. I mean, feel free to come out to the testing area. You won't be able to go actually on the lines, but we'll be around. So
right.
feel free to come out. It's right on the river. It's beautiful.
Now, if you have any interest in judging, reach out to Carrie, and if you're not sure about it, you're not sure what all it entails, come tag along. We obviously don't want a bunch of people on a test line when people are nervous, but
Yeah.
there's the time and place for it. So we will be glad to help you out there. Yeah, Billy Hodgson said he's bringing 4 gallons of catfish for Friday night. 4-gallon bags already cut up, ready. Think someone needs to do something on dispatching safety. We've done that. We did that at our last event too. That is something that we will be going over for sure. So we have some other events also. So we're going to be going over to Duval Catahoula's on the 24th.
Yep.
And last night there were
Be the weekend right after our event
Yep.
in Georgia.
Yes. So last night there were 20 tests scheduled. I got a phone call earlier. There are 6 more tests being added. So we were at 26 tests. If you guys want to test, get with Randall Duvall and get that scheduled. I don't know if he has more room, but if he has the room, we will provide the resources to do the testing. We have the Alabama seminar. What's the date on that?
the first weekend of May?
It is the first weekend in May, and it is again at the cattle ranch. Let's see, the testing or the seminar date is the 4th, so we will have testing on the 3rd and the 5th as well. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We do limit our testing on the Saturday. So if Saturday is when you want to test, you better schedule now. Which Stacy said earlier, we're getting pretty full on tests for the Stockton event.
Yeah.
We're not having to turn anyone away yet, but definitely if you need to do it on Saturday, you better make plans now because it's getting tight. And then after that, see Chuck Darby commenting. Let's talk about their event. That will be May 11th and 12th. And if you go, you can go on our website, and we have Brandy's phone number. It should say text. Yes, text Brandy. But it is hosted by Chuck and Brandy, which is high caliber tracking and recovery. And that is in Mississippi. And we got some events in the works in the Northeast. We just had a judge advanced and certified in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yep. And we do have a candidate in Iowa that will likely be certified by in about 3 weeks. So it's good stuff. It's spreading fast. We have a lot of candidates in the north and northeast that right now it's just weather holding them up. Perry Lawrence sent my money on Sunday for Stockton. All right, Corey Gamble, can you send me the link for the metal pole mock track system? I have 2 pair of Darren Miner shoes and they work great. I don't mind trying something different. Yes, I will do so. Corey, you need to get with me. I know you said that you wanted to come work with us, and we will be glad to have you join us. And sorry I didn't get back to you. I think it was yesterday. I wasn't, you know how it is. We talk enough. Brandy says happy to help anyone interested in coming. So, and for those of you who don't know, if you need hats, other merchandise, Brandy's a good resource for that stuff. Brandy, feel free to comment with your information if you would like. Go check this other one, make sure we're not missing any comments. Yep, Demopolis, Alabama. Let's see. Travis Sykes, I've been running started lines. I'm looking forward to trying to be judge. I enjoy watching dogs work and how other people handle their dogs. I enjoy it too. And Travis probably just enjoys seeing dogs that aren't crackheads. I'm going to hear about that one in a minute. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah. We had that last weekend. Everybody wanted to have another judges workshop this weekend, so I think a few more people are coming to it. So anybody that, like we said before, if you want to come out, just look for the post or just give me a holler and I'll get you directions on how to get here.
I knew she couldn't stand it. Stacy Frost is watching. I knew she would jump on as soon as she could. I'll have my Carrie said I'll have my laptop fixed here in the next day or two so I can get everything going better. So Chuck said it's going to be held on beautiful Enid Lake. I think that's how it's pronounced. Enid. I don't know. I'm not from Mississippi, but I'm
And
sure
we'll
you'll
have
correct
that
me.
up on the event section of the Facebook shortly.
Yes. Is it not on there? What in the world? Someone's been slacking. It is on the website though, so check out the website. Let's see. Tommy Jackson, planning on locking in my spot for Stockton Friday. Do y'all have an address and times for that weekend yet? I know y'all said last week a general area, but trying to lock down work wise. I don't have an address.
I'm sorry. You talking about for our event? I was
Yes.
looking at the site. We'll get that either tonight or in the morning. I'll
Yeah.
have that on.
I mean, Stockton, Georgia is not big. You blink and you're through it. So you put in Stockton, Georgia, and you're within 5 minutes of it.
Literally, it's 5 minutes, if not less than the intersection that is Stockton.
And you may have missed it, Tommy. We said it last week, I think the week before, and several times tonight. You may have been late signing on, but we're planning on starting the seminar at 10 a.m., but there is testing the day before. We're going to have a fish fry the night before. He said, I know Stockton is trying to figure out where. Like I said, Stockton's a small town. We'll get that information up, but Stockton is not big. You blink and you're through it. What's the website? AmericanBloodTrackers.org or AmericanBloodTrackersAssociation.org, either one. So, and the other thing is, it's kind of going to be two different addresses because the testing is going to be at one site, and the seminar is going to be at another. But we'll get that information out there. Let's see. Oh, Cassidy, she's jumping back and forth commenting on two different platforms. I had to go back and see if Travis responded to my comment to him. Tommy said, thanks. Looking forward to meeting y'all. We're looking forward to meeting you as well, Tommy. You think of anything else, Ralph? We don't have any comments coming in. PJ finally joined us. Let's see. See if we'll give it a couple of minutes. See if we have any last minute comments come in. We'll check a couple more platforms just to make sure we're not missing any comments or questions. Travis said, "I'll keep it G-rated." Is that keeping your temper down over the crackhead dog, or yeah? Got to mess with Travis. I did get notification that my testing was canceled, so go back in and rebook. Yes, Tony, we weren't trying to cancel your test. It was a glitch with the
Payment system.
Yeah, with the payment system on the website. It even stumped the hosting platform. The guy was pretty stumped on it.
But it's all fixed now. So
Alan Barrett, meeting y'all. You trained 3 of my dogs, and I haven't shook your hand yet. Yeah, you will get to meet me.
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. I'm keeping it G-rated too, Travis. Chuck says I'm going to tag a few. Yeah, so Tony, it should not have billed your card, just if it did for some reason, but it's showing it didn't on our end, and the website host said it did not bill anyone's cards, and we apologize for the mistake. Chuck says he's excited to meet everyone. We're excited to meet you as well, Chuck. Thank you for tagging all the people, Chuck. And I do go back on and I review these comments, and if we miss something, I do try to respond to the people. It never gave me the option to pay. Yeah, it was like I said, it was a glitch in the payment system. We got all that straight. Oops, that was the platform I was on. Let's go over here and see if there's anything. Bless his heart. Travis is gonna kill me on Saturday. Might have to bring a real dog for him to watch. No.
Kind of tone it down. I got to live with a guy around here.
Ralph has a shoulder you can cry on later, Travis. Tony is watching. Corey Gamble's watching. It looks like it's slowing down. So if y'all don't have anything else, check my text.
And for right now, we're still planning on Tuesday nights. We'll plan on next Tuesday also.
Yeah, if you guys have any topics or questions or anything that you want us to touch on, talk about, give us a call, shoot us a message, shoot us a text, email. Ralph, your email is ralph@americanbloodtrackers.org. Mine is Kenny at americanbloodtrackers.org. If you have any testing questions, it's testing@americanbloodtrackers.org, and Stacy will get you any answers that you may need. If you're interested in becoming a judge, it's judges@americanbloodtrackers.org, and Carrie Patterson will help you out. Travis said he gets to watch a real dog when he goes with you watching Camo. Yep. Travis, I can get your dog like that too. If you get a real dog.
Quit.
If you get a real dog. You can see we have some fun. When's Travis going to get a little dog? You haven't talked him into it yet?
No. He likes some leggy ones.
When y'all going to be back again? We're planning on every Tuesday. As long as y'all will have us. Even then, we're still going to do it. Stacy says, "Hey, I'm listening off and on. Night shift is not fun sometimes." Yeah, we've missed you, Stacy, but I knew you would jump on here eventually. Tommy Jackson, if by chance I don't get around to paying before the event, what is day of price for seminar? It doubles. No. Is it going to be the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
It just lets us kind of get set up for food, seating and that kind of stuff. It lets us know what to plan for. We'll have a little extra, but if too many do that, it throws things off because we might not be prepared.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. There was a question that came in earlier, which I don't see it now for some reason, but you have a food truck lined up?
Yep. They'll be there Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
Same as the seminar. So we'll.
Same person?
Yep.
So let's see, Chuck, what's the best way to keeping the dogs to stay on mock tracks after being on real live deer? We touched on that earlier, Chuck. Honestly, the best thing to do a lot of times is start over. Go back, do some short tracks. This is what I recommended to someone earlier who's having the same problem. Sometimes just going back to a shorter trail, 200-300 yards, keep it simple. Have a prize at the end, whether it's a treat, praise. I just use praise, and most dogs are like that. We've had dogs that just wanted water. They loved water. You give them a bowl of water at the end, and um, Andrew Peeler's dog's that way. You put a bowl of water at the end, and you gave it the finest steak you could buy. Um, but so I like to vary them. But if you start short, keep their interest, they get their prize, and then work your way back up, just like you would with a pup. But you can generally progress faster, obviously because they have more experience. Um,
Because we're running these events, if anyone has depredation tags or high fence situations, if anybody can get feet and blood, that would be tremendous because we could always use them. Um, so, and next season, I did it quite a bit this year, but next season we're going to really push, hoping a lot of people will get uh, the legs and try to get some blood just so we can make sure we have an abundance of inventory of it. And I've never had anybody turn me down. If I ask for the legs, they tickled to give them to me.
I have plenty of them for this year.
Yeah.
I've we John and I we are definitely prepared. Jason said wounded deer hooves.
Yeah.
Correct. Um, how important is it that the feet are off the same deer when laying lines? Um, so some people believes it's not important at all. Some people believes that the scent is specific to the deer. Something I've done a lot of research on, and I'm going to tell you, I personally don't feel it matters. Um, do I keep them organized? Yes, but I don't think it matters. Um, the pheromone is, especially with the interdigital, the interdigital pheromone is comprised of 46 volatile compounds. Um, some stuff you read in the past will say that it's specific to that one deer, but all of them have the same 46 compounds. They haven't been able to break it all down to actually each signal what the compound is yet, but they have on some, and those I guess you'd say compounds or mixtures are the same on every deer for the particular signals that they have been able to dissect. So that leads me to believe that no, it doesn't matter, but some believes it does, so we keep them separated. Um, Chuck says I had a guy ask me how to get a young dog from coming back and checking in. Most of the time, age, maturity. I actually had I was on the way here, had a phone conversation with someone from Louisiana who was having the same issue, and this person thought that maybe it was from training on lead, but I train every dog on lead, even if I'm going to transition them to off lead, I train them on lead, and it's really uh, more maturity, age, confidence. Confidence is the big thing that it is, and that comes with age and experience.
Let me ask a question. Do you Does that all come with any situation or just dead deer or just live deer that maybe you're hurt bad enough they're laying down? Or is it just you see that most people when they ask that question, it's for any deer that's
Most of the time, it's just they check back in on the trail, no matter what. And I get that question a ton, no, almost every day. Someone calls me or emails me or texts me asking that same question. And 99% of the time, it's a young dog that just doesn't have the confidence. And they're looking at you for that confidence, that comfort. Um, Carrie Patterson, I've found you can usually match them. I was given a bag of feet and could tell what ones. That's true. I personally just use feet from the same deer because I feel like more than just interdigital is left behind. It is. However, um, when you talk about the total scent profile, um, an individualized scent is I just don't see the significance myself. When you look at the total scent profile, you're looking at disturbed earth. There's more disturbed earth and broken vegetation than anything else. Um, but the unique thing is that interdigital gland because it's the chemical pheromone that is used by a different portion of the dog than the actual nasal passages. But with that said, like I do keep feet separated. Cody, I don't think it matters at all. I got a processor that saves my legs each year and stores them all in same bags. So I just pull out of the bag at random. Like I said, I when you look at it, when you actually study the science of it, um, yeah, it'll open your eyes. Chuck Darby said he said the male will stay on track, but female comes back to check in. Yeah, it sounds like it's just a confidence issue. Um, and Chuck, you can tell them to reach out to me because I can ask some more specific, detailed questions. I will gladly help any way that I can, if I can. Um, let's see, Michael Lockhart. How many times can you use a pair of feet? Um, it really depends on how long the lines are, the terrain, but typically, and the time of year, heat wise, water, but on average, I'd say 6 to 8 times. If we're laying a lot of long lines, sometimes we might get 3 or 4. And it, like I said, it depends on the terrain. You can walk the hide off of them literally. Um,
Going back to that processor, uh, I personally feel hopefully you're getting the deer that didn't just drop when they were shot. The pheromone was activated by them running while they were injured. Uh, I just think it makes a difference.
and from a testing standpoint too, for consistency, of course, we're using legs that are paired. I don't want to be misleading there. I was just giving my personal opinion on it based on the studies that I've done. But when it comes to testing and training, we keep them separated. Um, no matter how I feel, just even for a comfort of the people that may feel otherwise. How long does the pheromone last after death? So I don't want to give away the whole seminar topics and everything, but um, the pheromone will stay. Um, yeah,
I've had them over. You talking about freezing them?
yeah,
Shoot, I've had them over a year. Take them out, and I've never had a dog not take them.
right. And there is a lot more. Like I said, there is a lot to that trail, more than just interdigital. And every aspect is important. Um, I focus a lot on interdigital, especially early on in the training. But like I said, you have the disturbed earth, the broken vegetation, the dander.
That's one of the reasons I know we have to use the shoes for testing, but I like using the stick because it simulates a deer running through the bushes a
Right.
little better than you just walking with the shoes on.
And the other side of that, and this question came up, I think it was after the broadcast last week. Or maybe no, it was on one of my videos, a YouTube video or something. The question was brought up about the interdigital coming out of the hoof with the shoes on, with the gland facing up. So some of the old literature, people believe that that wax just fell out of the bottom of the foot. And I'm sure at times it may, but it's kind of like earwax. We have earwax in our ears all the time that doesn't fall out. The way that chemical pheromone is actually released is through the hair follicles. So that's something to keep in mind. And I personally like the tracking sticks because it's a more natural trail with that hair follicles around that gland brushing up against vegetation. And some people say, "Oh, it's not. You don't have the weight of the deer pushing down on the and creating more disturbed earth," or they think it's spreading that hoof and putting more interdigital scent down. When it's actually not. Like I said, it's excreted out of the hair follicles like sweat. So that's something a lot of people doesn't realize, and all it takes is a little bit of research to find that. But there's a lot more going on. You got the blood, the iron in the blood, the dander that transfers to the blood, the dander that falls off the legs, so much in that total scent profile. Ricky Scott says, if you're getting the hooves from a processor, it's best to get them during archery season so you will know the hooves off the deer that probably didn't die instantly. There's a pile of deer that doesn't die instantly outside of archery season, but I do get what you're coming from. Said his processor will ask when it comes in, and you can go up to the processor. You can, as the deer come in, you can look at it. I mean, obviously, if it's gut shot, that deer's ran a ways. So if you don't have any other options, I absolutely get them from the processor. Make sure we're not missing anything here. Looks like the comments are starting to wind down. Alan Barrett says, I cut my feet myself. The ones I track, I know for a fact the ones I have are right. And that is the best way. Someone like me, I go through way more than I can typically get tracking, especially this testing season. I mean, I'm getting them from all over. I have some friends in Alabama that's been collecting some. John made a run to Alabama, picked up 550 legs for us. Mike Alguire's been collecting a lot of hides for us. In our training, we have some tactics. We use whole hides, so we got whole hides. We got some cut into about 12-inch square pieces for testing. Blood is probably the hardest thing to get. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much have to go to a processor to get that blood. Check one last time. Looks like it's dwindling down. And like I said, if y'all have any topics you want us to touch on, let us know. Let's see. Go to the pawn shop or marketplace and buy a cordless Sawzall. Cut the hooves off every one you track.
That's the best way.
Some of us don't recover deer, so I gotta phone a friend. Wow, here's all the comments. Laura Rogers said, made it this time. I missed that one. That was an hour ago. I don't know what's going on with these comments. Technology for you.
And Laura, if you're still on there, I texted you earlier.
She's ignoring you.
You never replied.
When is your seminar? We have several. If you go on our website, AmericanBloodTrackers.org, we have the Stockton, Georgia one on
16th, 17th.
February.
17th is
The 17th is the seminar in Stockton, Georgia, February 17th. And then Randall Duvall's is filled up as far as the seminar portion. Louisiana, that's February 24th. I don't know if he has any more testing room. I believe so, but there's 26 tests scheduled. So then we have the Demopolis or Greensboro, whatever you want to call it, right in between, really. Alabama, I looked earlier. Was it May 4th?
I don't remember this Saturday.
See, events. Yes, May 4th. And then we have the high caliber tracking and recovery, which I need to fix that typo. May 11th and 12th in Mississippi. And you can get with Brandy or Chuck Darby, which is in the comments section right now. Shoot them a message and they will get you set up there. And Brandy just put obviously her Facebook profile and her phone number. It is best to text her. So Kenny Frost joined us again. And make sure I'm not missing anything. Kyle Carlson said, keep asking questions. We're getting a little seminar here. Would roadkill deer work for hooves? It is not the best option. But if you don't have any other option, use what you can get. It's just like the dog bone products. And I know this is opening a can of worms. They sell these products that are a tan piece of hide and some unknown compound of scent. And I will say, if you don't have anything else, you're going to teach the dog to follow a scent trail. May not be a wounded deer scent trail. I'm not going to say it is or isn't, but you don't have anything else. There's alternatives out there. I personally would just get some liver if I didn't have any other option, but reach out to your fellow trackers. There's probably some extra supplies floating around that you can get your hands on. James Tucker, I have a 1-year-old hound that I've used on 8 tracks this year, and I want to get him better. He's 7 of 8. They were easy tracks. Hey, every track, even the easy ones, is teaching that you and that dog something. Paul said, I shot a deer this year with my bow that came in limping and had a broken hoof, was split right down the middle after using a leg. Do you just freeze again? Yes, just freeze again and reuse it. Got some good participation again this week.
Yep.
So
what did we end up last week with? Remember?
2,300.
Cool.
And even though we're having a lot of discussion, the questions are staying on topic because we're talking about postseason. What to do in the postseason, keep those dogs right, and
the handlers too.
That's right. Yeah, and we say it. I think we say it every week. Rarely do we have a dog issue.
Nope.
It's almost always a handler issue. And again, that is the great thing about the testing. And, like Ralph, you're opening up your place this weekend for people to come and, calling it a judge's workshop, but really it's just a get together.
Yep.
It is a judge's workshop, but more so it's a get together, sharing knowledge and practicing running lines and watching dogs work. And, Travis Bozeman, he's been coming over and working with John and I. Other people has too. Um, Rob, Paul, Mike Alguire. There's been a lot of people at our house, and every time, not only are they learning from us because it's what we do every day, but we're learning from them. Um, let's see. Chuck said, my biggest thing is getting back in shape at the first part of season. Well, if you're out here working during the off season, Chuck, you don't have to worry about that, especially in the heat. Paul says, how can you tell the difference from your dog following your scent on a trail versus the track you put down? I assume you have someone else lay the track. So, Paul, one of the first things you want to do is get that track aged. Personally, and I know a lot of people will agree, I feel age is more important than distance when you're training. Of course, we stretch out that distance, but I like to get that age up there first because our scent will dissipate before the deer scent. Um, I've tested. I've had other people lay lines. I've laid lines. Some people think you got to hold a leg out and drag it with a fishing pole out the side of a buggy or a truck, and it don't matter. Age is what matters. Kenny Frost said the same thing. How much does a human scent play in on laying mock tracks rather than using shoes or sticks? Just something that don't get talked about a lot. I feel like it gets talked about a lot, but maybe it's just because I get that question a lot.
I think the shoes help with some of that versus, say, a stick. But the aging part, that's no different to me than a regular live unhurt deer versus a hurt deer. The chemical part of the scent is what that's what stays in the scent profile, to where a regular deer, you never hear a deer dogs that just run deer running 24-hour-old tracks.
Or 30, 40, 50,
40,
60,
yeah.
70.
So it's the chemical part of it that's activated when they're hurt. To me, that's what's doing it. And so the human, same thing. You're just stepping. That's going to dissipate to where it's going to disappear. And so I think that aging part is just what you said. That's what stays out there the longest. And so if you age it, which you want to do anyway, you want to make it tougher on the dog. I'm not a trainer, but knowing and being around enough of them, that aging takes care of a lot of problems.
Sure does.
It makes a dog work harder, and you want to test your dog. That's another thing that mock tracks, even if you haven't been on a lot of live tracks or real tracks, you want to test that dog. You want to find out what that dog can do. It'll build your confidence. It'll make that dog hunt harder. It'll just, you'll see a difference when that dog can run 30, 36 hour. As long as you can get them to run that mock track, I would test them.
So
and then back off, work harder, work with them on what they can do, and just keep progressing. If they don't progress 6 hours, try 2 hours more, and just keep after it and just keep on and on. You want to know what that dog can do.
The other side of that is, I get this question every day too. My dogs quit running mock tracks. So the reason why that dog has quit running mock tracks is you have quit challenging that dog.
I was going to say, everybody that I've ever got that ask from, they're only running 2 and 4 hour old tracks, and it
For
just,
the most part.
and that's just me. I don't talk to as many people as you do about training, by no means, but that is always seems to be the go-to answer.
That
Age it more and make it harder for them. And people aren't about like anything, they're not willing to work their dogs to make them do harder jobs.
Yep.
And you get out there on a real track, you want that confidence that it doesn't matter. My dog's going to try to take it. And if they ever smell it, they are going to go after it. And it shows because during your training, you do that a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I don't turn down anything that has age to it because of the age.
And here's the thing, like my last YouTube video, those dogs have been in training a week with us. And we aged it further than probably anyone ever would in a week. You know, 3.5, 4 hours, 400 or 500 yards. Most people's not going to do that in a week. Did we help the dog some? Yes. But what we're looking for is we're looking for that dog to work the majority of that track. And if we have to help them through a portion of it, but they get the majority, well, guess what? You're challenging that dog. That dog's working for it. And so, like if you watch that video, when we hit that road and on the video, I tell you, most dogs want to go left or right, and they rarely want to go straight across unless they're experienced. But in training, especially, they want to follow that road. And in this particular video, you'll see this Catahoula. It wanted to go left, it wanted to go right, and John stepped forward and kind of helped that dog go forward in the right direction. Even though we're helping that dog in that instance, it's challenging that dog and it's making that dog work more so that when we run it the next time, it's going to know, hey, I need to check forward too. And we see this in testing dogs all the time. You hit a field or a field edge, a road, a food plot, and for whatever reason, a dog wants to go up and down that wood line before they go out into that field. And so train how you track. That's huge. And we'll go over way more in depth with this stuff at the seminar. There'll be way more information. I'm not going to give it all away tonight because we got a seminar coming. I got something to talk about. So Cameron Moore says, how do you guys prep your hooves before you lay a track? Do y'all dig the wax out, wipe it on the hoof? Do y'all always unfreeze and freeze them back until no longer good? So for me, we go through so many hooves and we lay so many lines a day that rarely do we get more than a day out of a set of hooves. We might get 2 days. So for us, refreezing them really doesn't happen unless we just throw the shoes in the freezer. Most of the time, we'll put them in a bag, a Ziploc bag, and put them in a cooler in the back of the truck on ice or something. But we're going through them so much for the average person that's not going to use them as much as we are. Yeah, refreeze them. As far as extracting the wax, I will do that early on, more as imprinting the dog. But for the most part, no.
My experienced dogs, I never do that.
No,
It's not needed.
It's more early on
It's almost
imprinting.
like the blood situation. You use blood at the very beginning if you need a dog to get interested, but you're wanting to get rid of that as quick as you can.
Right.
Um,
And James Tucker asks how many tracks should be laid a week. So we lay tracks every day, but we're in a different situation. I tell everyone 2 to 3 a week is plenty for the average person. And and it also depends on if you're talking about a dog that is well seasoned or are you talking about a dog that you're starting out. The other side of that is making sure that you progress that dog at the right level. If you come to the seminar, we're going to have a segment on training and progressing the dog through the training. That's where most people make their mistakes. It's not how long the lay time as much it is the proper time to progress.
there's also, I'm not, I don't train like as many as you, or I don't train, so I don't see what you see. But it's also, it's kind of hard to answer some questions till you see your dog working. because your dog might be good on certain things, but it overruns a corner. So you might have to stop and work corners a lot harder. Do things that you see your dogs doing wrong, and every dog's different. So every dog trails different, and you just got to be careful with it. I've the last one I had was they said the dog was winding way too much. And there again, it come into the age thing to where the dog didn't have to really smell. It was just running, smelling the fresh 2 hour old mock track. Well, you throw a 15, 20 hour old track on it, that dog will go down to the ground because that's the only place the smell is.
Yep.
And so you just got to see how your dog works. And I've got two different dogs, two Teckles that she's step by step. The other one, she can motor on a trail. And so I have to watch them different. I don't do the same things all the time to them. And just because they're different.
Yep. And
So
well, prime example was Judy's dogs yesterday. One of them was slow and methodical, and the other one was wide open. Both of them did great. They were just two different styles. Both of them got the job done. Um, I like a methodical dog.
oh yeah.
A methodical dog just
Hands
doesn't
down.
miss.
Oh yeah.
And as far as thawing them, we do thaw ours. So go over here and see if we got any more questions here. Tommy says, "What's great about the shoes is they fit in the freezer. I thaw out the hose in the yard, lay my track, then back in the freezer." All right. Looks like it's winding down. We still have 42 live viewers on right now. It was a pretty good show. The comments are winding down. So Mitchell Smith has hopped on. Mitchell I believe he still has a puppy left, a wire hair Dachshund. I believe Brad Shoemaker still has one male puppy left. If y'all are looking for one, and I'm sure there's other people out there. Talking about the winding and your older dog. You've watched Dixie Track. So I had a guy come and he was working his dog, and I got Dixie out, and Dixie hadn't been on a mock track all year. This was right before season. It's like anyone else. My dog's getting neglected because everyone else's dogs are getting work. But anyways, put her out there on the track, and it happens all the time with hunters too. She's rarely nose down. I mean, she's kind of walking around like she's doing nothing. It's so easy for her, and she just like nonchalant walking around, and the guy's like, "Dog's not even tracking," and she's walking up there, and I knew she was. Then she stops at the 90 and sits there. And I didn't know it was a blind track. John laid it. I was just running her. I had no idea where it's at. What the heck is she doing? And we were just standing there talking. And she just sits down and looks back at us. And I'm like, well, maybe she's not tracking, is what I'm thinking in my head, but I'm not going to tell this guy this. She sat there waiting on us because she was at the 90 and she went right to the end, but never put her nose down. Just kind of walked along like, okay, this is stupid. This is all you're going to give me? So definitely challenge. Oh, Mitchell's 2 males left. That's right. Sorry, Mitchell. Will the seminar be available to see afterwards? I can't make the date, but would buy it if you recorded it. Whew, that'd be a lot of recording.
Yeah,
a lot. I try to make one of them. There's a lot going on, and there's no way that we could cover. Because even with the seminar part, we're going to break off in private groups, and there's just a lot going on. If you can't make that one, try to make another one.
Or get another job.
Yeah, there you go. Just quit your job. I mean, what's more important, tracking or work? Judy said yesterday that she took off one tracking season to track and just never went back. There you go. There's your option. You have anything else, Ralph?
That, clear on my stuff. Want to thank everybody for taking your time and listening
Yeah,
and watching.
yeah. We appreciate it, and go on there, check out our website if you'd like to join. Um, you can join on the website. It does help us be able to do stuff like this and these seminars and travel around and spread the word. Um, right now we don't have a tracker list, and we've talked about it, but it's going to be there's going to be some criteria that have to be met.
Yeah, it's coming, but
And we are working with Shane Simpson with the Track Our app. Uh, Working with a couple other apps. We'll have some information out on those or formats, I should say. But it's growing every day. We've been adding to the website every day. There's going to be more and more going on there. More of these videos, more posts.
I think I just saw today we went over 1,000 members or
Yep.
1,000 followers.
Yes, please share our page. It helps, get the word out. And Darren Miner, give him the name of the shoes, the Wascow shoes. Jason, if you'll go on Mullins Dog Training page, I got some YouTube videos that shows the shoes and how to put them on, how to use them, and all that. But I'm Kenny Mullins,
Ralph
Bennett, and we appreciate you guys. And we're going to end it here. I got a 2-hour drive home. If you want to keep me awake, you can call.
Talk to y'all later.
Have a good night.